any utility in doing that. Whereas I see other teams now set up a lot of nades sometimes to make that happen.
You can get involved in the polls on Blast.tv. You can vote for whether or not you think Twist can get a 30 bomb here. Most people do. 72% have voted yes. Easy peasy for him. You can do that again over at Blast.tv. But this round was open and shut pretty much from the get-go. And that's what we're talking about, Lucy. When we say bad news equals aggression, that's it. And it's calculated. It's not just wild individual plays. You can see the different layers of the aggression as to why it worked. And it's difficult to play against that.
Yeah, you can see they were just completely caught off guard, just not expecting it out the gate like that. Rox is going to go down here as well. Takes a couple of bullets to do so. Broky was considering the save, but...
It's massive as well, because look at the money right now for FaZe.
Yeah, it's going to be completely reset, which means, I mean, Bad News Eagles will be in the position to win out the half. Broky might get the hold onto the AK, but I mean, look at these CTs through the walls. They're hounding his position.
They know they've got him in the kitchen. Here they come, running in. Rickon runs by. Everything's being thrown at him. But somehow the kitchen sink stays intact, and so does Broky.
I can't believe he got away with the AK there. Somehow.
Running through the smoke with a knife out just to run across. What a beautiful round.
Yeah, it was just so good to watch.
Yeah,
Twist had no idea.
A bunch of dry fights. FaZe aren't ready. Not much more it comes down to, and that's the feeling you get sometimes when playing against B&E.
Another timeout taken in this first half, too. Already used for B&E.
No reason not to use them early as well. You know, this is, a tough competitor, but if you take them down and, make your way to Major off the back of a FaZe victory, I mean, that is so massive for you. So use every single resource at your disposal early on for that advantage.
And of course, B&E want to try and get as deep into the Major as possible. You don't want to have to go through every level of the Challenger stage. You don't want to go in with a lower seed. It makes it difficult. So you want to go in as highly ranked as you can and beating FaZe. Well, certainly getting a lot of confidence too with GXX. Run boost over the top of mid. Doesn't see anybody to open things up. It's quick from FaZe up Banana. Karrigan with the Tech 9 is shredded early on, and there's no real issues here for B&E. They're confident to swing down Banana and take themselves a few kills. It's just Robs and Rain left. Again, another 5v3 right from the get-go.
That almost looked like a hard read. You got 4 players on B, ready for the pistol aggression. B&E may be realizing that's the likely position for the pistols to try and get activated.
They're ready for Robs. Oh, they were ready for Robs. Here he comes. Of course, Robs gets a chance. Scenario's on 4 HP. They know where he is now. And they'll momentarily take him down. Tech9 tries his best to get something out of the round, but it's flawless. B&E feel very good about that.
6 in a row for B&E on the CT side. All the momentum with them, and you can just feel it in the way these rounds are starting. It just feels like they're dictating the pace every single time in these last 3-4 rounds.
Yeah, Twist is called down too, forcibly called down by the Bad News Eagles. And FaZe feeling frustrated about how this T-half has ended. They've lost the half. They want to try and secure 7.
Mid-smoke thrown here by B&E. From spawn, you can sometimes play for aggression around that. Instead, Synopsy runs straight through into second mid. They've got to be ready for this.
Oh, they are ready. Rain is not going to be caught by aggression this round. Synopsy runs right out of the apartments and straight to his death. Opening kill for FaZe in round 15.
GXX was interested in taking a peek through, but decides stay alive, repositioning towards the apartments where his teammate had just gone down, just in case that lurk comes through. But you can see FaZe just holding for any further aggression, knowing that B&E in the disadvantageous position might want to try and take some ground somewhere, get that information. But at the moment, they're holding strong.
Well, FaZe not looking to be at all. They're looking at this A site as the prime target. GXX up in the apartments. Riceville support behind him on the balcony. Here they come. FaZe are walking right into this AWP. This setup could work really well, but he's just left. He's just walked away. And now he's coming back, but it might not favor him. He's quick on the trigger, luckily, and now gets back. Now they're doubled up. And FaZe have to slow down because of the utility.
Snary gets one out though. Peek from long, just gets the information and the frag. A follow-up on the fade back. And look at this AWP. What's going on?
Rigon's on the T-stairs.
He's in T-stairs, AWPing. 30 seconds left. He's completely blocked this off. They smoke and run past him, but there's a huge gap, and he's used it. Rops goes down, and Carrigan is desperately charging towards B, but they are hounding him from every angle. Gets one, but Saneri takes him down. A 9-6 half for Bad News Eagles on Inferno.
FaZe Clan come bursting through the gate onto Inferno. A strong showing in the first few rounds. Twist was dominating the Bad News Eagles individually, but BNE, you can never put them away. It's never an easy half against these guys. They recuperate, they come out swinging with some calculated aggression, and they pull the half all the way back to 9-6 in the lead.
You kind of have to ask, where would FaZe be without Twists on this map? Because he got them off to that strong start, then they lost 7 in a row to close the half. The question here for BNE, though, is can they keep that same aggression up on the T side, where FaZe's nades might make it more difficult for them to get into those aggro spots?
The Twist Ace was the last time that FaZe got around. Can't rely on the individual heroics. Has to be the team effort here, particularly against Bad News Eagles, who are all firing on the same cylinders.
A short break at halftime. The reset.
Check like that someone's at the half wall.
That's the best fake flash
cool.
I've seen. That is actually a really cool idea. It's a good way of just...
They do it with a decoy? Yeah, it was a decoy. Why not?
It's a great way to get info. Brokey in the apartment is not getting a lot of info. Scenario let off the leash, just charges up alongside. Karrigan in the arch gets overrun, and now the B split, it's fully on. Twist doesn't get anything in the pistol, and now Rain in the boosted position. He has to deliver something. It's the first and the second locked in, and he'll drop to the site. Corpses litter the B bomb site. His might join them. GXX goes flying through and will remove Rain. It's down to Brokey and Rops to pull this one off.
Brokey's already here, and he's swung on out, comes and gets the bomb planted, but after the bomb has gone down, Rops and Brokey now have to piece this one together. Scenario, his position is known. Brokey helping to clear, and he swings on out, looking for the fight. Damage done. Brokey can now focus on this position, but the new box swing could come at any moment. A flash on over. Rigon is just tucked on in, and they walk into his crosshair, gets the first. The bomb ticking on down. Rops desperate for it, but Rigon delivers.
Yeah, big pistol win there for BNE, and Rigon delivering massive headshots towards the end.
Get the guns out, boys. Let's go. They're hyped.
We need to get the Cloud9 level tank tops out for BNE, I think.
If they get to the last CSGO major, get the tank tops out, surely.
The summer of BNE.
Absolutely. Listen, Matt, FaZe had a pretty good read on this pistol. As you pointed out, Lucy, Brokey instantly flanked Banana. He didn't even consider the possibility of the A play. And yet still, BNE just frag out so hard. GXX up to 16 kills. Rigon alongside him, having fantastic games. And now Brokey's scout instantly removed from the round. GXX doing it on the rifles now.
Yeah, just shooting him in the head the simple way. Oh, counter-strike here for BNE. Rob sits in the apartments. They've got the info on that. Flatcher doesn't need to go into the apartments at all.
It's the worst place to go against this sort of round, right? This is where the SMGs and pistols are most potent.
GXX is almost caught up to Twist right now. Just a couple of kills away from doing it. Might even do it in this round. Rain's
you mentioned
close.
that there was the last round they picked up was the Twist Ace round. Was that the last round he got a kill at this point?
I think so.
Like it. Well, Rain's going to swing out from first oranges. Synopsy with the Mac 10. Is the first to draw blood. Rain at least gets one, but it's just not enough to really stay competitive on this B side. The other two on the other side of the map. And so BNE will push themselves forward to 11.
Starting to look very good for BNE now. FaZe's pit.
They've been completely out of control of this game. But at the start of the game, they were dominating. And then it just flipped a switch, and they lost control completely. I mean, think of that last round of the first half. We didn't get to really talk about it going into the break, but that was crazy. I mean, Karrigan's running everywhere. There's someone in T-stars. They're flushed. They're throwing the smoke that doesn't land properly. Karrigan's sprinting around the wall. There's someone right in front of him. FaZe have no control or idea what's going on the map at this point. BNE are making it really, really uncomfortable.
It's weird, there were a couple of rounds where they got caught off guard by the aggression. And early, you're right, it was like FaZe were reading the book, they knew exactly what was going on, and then at some point, they just got lost throughout that half.
And we said this earlier on, like, it's not like you don't know that Bad News Eagles are going to be throwing aggression at you, right? It's their thing.
Yeah, we are going to obviously point that from the FaZe perspective, but you also give props to BNE because the way they pull off the aggression, they have a really cool layering system of how they were able to pull it off and make it happen. So even if Twist gets one kill, there was always a player there to trade. They had the aggression and Banana perfectly timed too. It's very coordinated for BNE, which makes it really difficult to handle.
And even just the total number of different looks BNE gave.
Yeah, they had so many different approaches.
Yeah, apartments aggression down mid, down Banana in the mid round, down Banana early. Even just the timings of the aggressions were mixed up sometimes. This is still a round where FaZe can compete. Not the best buy for them, though.
Yeah, Robs has been quiet, and I mean, we just talked about him being the rising star to the top. Well, we'd love to step up here, and that's exactly what happens. Bang! 2 kills immediately in tandem for FaZe Clan. Now BNE start to panic a little bit. GXX at least pulls a kill back, but there's a 3v4 at hand.
This position from One Fletcher just could end everything there. He's managed to find his way into CT spawn. Brokey's aware of it though and gets the tag. Just 10 HP down back in response, and Karrigan, he's the one that catches him unaware. Scenario gets one back. Now on the side, it has to be Brokey. They're pincering him through. A single scout kill onto both will do it. The first comes on through. Scenario with 2 HP actually gets past him, and Rops is running through flames. Scenario, a bomb plant assured, but surely...
No, I don't know.
Yeah, Rops comes on through, and FaZe finally break the silence.
Yeah, that's a good round. That came out of nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. Those 2 shots, Hawker, I have no idea how they both came through at the exact same time on polar opposite ends of the map.
Oh, they do stray into the apartments.
That is literally the exact same time.
Yeah, crazy. And you do wonder whether that's the round FaZe needed. I think that's a little release from Roban in the background there, because that was, what, 9 in a row for B&E? Absolute madness. But there's still a bye for both teams here, so game faces straight back on into this round.
That was also technically the easiest round for Bad News Eagles. I mean, that was just like a couple of upgraded pistols, the Scout and MP9. That one was never meant to be FaZe's round. But it might just be the tipping point that gets them back into this map.
I really want to see what B&E's protocols look like here, because it's going to be much more difficult for players to get into solo aggressive positions. If you try and go up banana, you'll get smoked, you'll get mollied. You won't be able to just force those fights in the same way. So you do need a bit more depth on that T side of Inferno.
Not a lot of info being picked up for FaZe right now. We got 1 minute left. B&E have got banana without really having to fight for it or burn any of the utility, which they're very happy about. They didn't have a lot of utility to begin with. And they set themselves up at top banana, confirming that control with the top smoke. So FaZe know, and B&E at least have some presence over towards this side of the map, but the bomb is slipping its way out top mid, and Brokey's just rotated off, leaving a big gap. They could split this A site in 2 fronts. They could wrap long and put pressure on Robs and Twists.
I feel like FaZe have gambled B because B&E just used their last smoke towards that B site. They're not expecting this A play.
It has to be Robs and it has to be Twists, and they have to do it right now. Twist swinging on out, low HP, finds one and a headshot on the Scenari. Robs finds the other 2, and it had to be those 2, and they find all 4 frags.
Yeah, it's crazy. That was perfectly set up for B&E. The movement of the rotation of Brokey away just at the right time. You had 2 players in the pit, starved of information. You're about to wrap them from 2 sides. Should have been a lot easier there for B&E, but it's never easy to take down those 2 players.
That was ruthless. That was cutthroat from FaZe.
Yeah, and I think B&E realize now that is kind of a round you want to be winning, and so a timeout taken.
Absolutely. I think that the fact that the first kills are so clean, I mean, you see Rops just playing above this smoke. Beautifully done.
Nice.
B&E not too happy about it. Twist back on the board as well. Good to see. Off that 19 mark, he was on for a while. But the utility for B&E, not enough to disrupt that setup with the crossfire that FaZe had available.
And now B&E down to Glock. So this should be FaZe putting 9 on the board. You can really see the effects of winning that low buy round that FaZe picked up a few rounds prior. Breaks the economy pretty quickly for B&E.
Are they playing tic-tac-toe and spawn on the B&E side?
I think so.
Using it as a timeout, I guess.
Why not?
Mini game.
They finished that game.
We'll never know who won.
They were just playing it while their teammates were dying, man. That's not very nice.
Well, you know, the purpose of these rounds is to waste time, pull out utility, and showing FaZe somewhere, you know, that does bait out some response, so... You know, why not get in a game of tic-tac-toe? Keep yourself mentally stimulated in these off rounds.
I know the official title is tic-tac-toe, but it used to be called Xeozis where I live.
Xeozis.
Sure, okay.
Not noughts and crosses.
That's kind
No,
of...
Xeozis. Was it noughts and crosses for you?
Yeah, I think so.
I like that one. What was your favorite, Alex? If you had to rate them.
Oh, I don't know, man. Listen, it's weird that there's so many
Different variations,
names,
right?
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh,
See
nice.
Who won?
I don't know if anyone wins. No one wins.
Oh, classic.
Oh, wait. The chicken
Oh, he
Who
won.
else is
it.
throw, surely?
Yeah, he threw. Someone had to win. And that is...
I thought the chicken was going to be the hero for a second, blocking it down.
Yeah, well, that's Tic-Tac-Toe, brought to you by Blast TV. 11-9 as B&E lead the way versus FaZe, and they've got a bye back. The rifles once again in the hands of the B&E players.
Instant extinguish. Nade still coming. I think that will go too far, though. Snopsy really wants this. Oh, fantastic flash. Hunts down 1.
Props hunting as well. They walk straight in, the headshot angle. He hits those every day of the week. Falls on back with that man advantage. Rigon, though, fighting back in. Carrigan overstepping, wanting the information.
Wow.
Scenari steals one from Rops. And suddenly it's starting to crumble here for FaZe. Just 2 defenders left.
When B&E get a T-side round going, it is rapid. It is so difficult to put away. It almost feels vicious from the Bad News Eagles. Twist is still alive, and we can't count him out with the form he's on right now.
Spacing sucks here.
Yeah, it really has separated them into 1v1s, and Twist peeks out just at the right time. I would not bet against this man to hold the site. Oh, he goes out, sets himself up with a flash, and gets another kill. Brings it down to just Scenery, and Brokey can absolutely win this clutch now because of Twists. He's got a smoke and an HE left, and Brokey gets into the CT smoke. Scenery was reading it. He's dropping back into a better position, and Brokey walks right through. Twist gets the double. Brokey sends it down the river.
That feels a bit more like the B&E of old. You get the aggressive plays, you get the headshots, but the composure in the late round has to be better. You can't just send Rigon in alone like that. You can't let Twist have time to set up a flash for his own peak. He's alone on B. All you've got to do is trade him, but B&E can't convert the 3-on-2.
Twist thanking his lucky stars. That first kill was just gifted to him. The fact that he finds another, enough to get FaZe another round now. 4 in a row. B&E, that massive lead that they accumulated is now starting to slip away from them. One off equalizing, and I mean, look what B&E are working with. Tech9's a Deagle.
And one flat throw, running right through the top mid, Molly right into Twist, who actually nearly manages to get the second kill. GXX does very well there. He'll walk away with a kill and an upgraded weapon, and they have just left B. They've dropped back fully into spawn.
No
It's
way.
opened up a chance for B&E just to walk on by.
Yeah, Long was completely open. They're so worried about a wrap because that's what B&E have done so many times.
The bomb hasn't got across. Now the smoke will come in, but Synopsis so deep, and that was his chance, and he'll still capitalize on it. Rain gets caught, gun down, and this is bad news Eagles thanking their lucky stars. Why is the B side open, they ask? Well, they don't care anymore. They just have to try and close this round out, and they are doing it right now. Carrigan's fallen, and they can't do anything about this. FaZe have to stomach a ridiculous round loss.
That is wild. They leave B entirely, and it almost looked like B&E planned for exactly that. The way their A players literally get the one kill and instantly turn around because they have their players so far up banana. That was beautiful. The timing of that was perfect from B&E.
And I think there's an additional worry there if you're FaZe, right? When a Tech9 bursts through a smoke, takes down one of your players, suddenly they've got a rifle, you've heard multiple footsteps, you're worried. This is a fast play onto A, right? And you want to reinforce that and concern about that wrap through long, which B&E have been doing quite a lot. You can understand the rotation, but B&E read them like a book.
Having a word with each other. Wanting to get back on the same page using this timeout phase. I feel somewhat rattled after that one. Been a few rounds that are a little bit questionable. And that one's got to hurt.
They should still have plenty of money, though. That is the upside. I love this call. I really do. The lack of info for FaZe ends up being so costly. And you know that it's going to be around where B&E have a lack of utility. You need to get this man a tank top, seriously. You can't be rocking the sleeves up like that. 12-10. Buyback for FaZe. Can they bounce back? Both teams losing rounds they maybe shouldn't have. Ops playing for info early. Does he go for the aggression? Decides against it. Meanwhile, Banana has been taken by B&E.
Flash through does get a little bit of information, but so early on, nothing spotted. Retake utility going through towards top Banana, although they're not peeking off the back of it, just waiting to see if that Molotov would flush someone forward. But instead, B&E happy to sit behind it. They've got GXX on top of the logs peering on over. In fact, it's the boost for that extra bit of elevation. He's not spotting anything here.
Here they come now. Here's the retake of Banana. That's going to be, an instant kill for GXX. Luckily, Carrigan is able to keep that tread even.
Oh, Snopsy burning a bit, down to 60. I think FaZe were happy to go dry there because they know Brokey has rotated in with the AWP. So it's almost a bait for B&E to try and push into this AWP. Hasn't happened though, and now they know the sniper is there. So what did B&E do with that extra information?
Brokey's a little worried. That rotation over, it's opened up long again. You can see B&E have just really put this into the back of their heads that that's such a concern. Now they all group up as a unit. The sole defender here, Carrigan, has to do it all, getting in front of the smoke. And he's caught off in 2 mines, and now he has none. Splattered all over the floor. Brokey throws one through the smoke, but it doesn't connect.
Surely a save.
Oh, Broky's still hanging around. He may go for a pot shot and just see if he can deny the bomb plant, which he won't. And Twist and Rops have already committed to that save. Broky is in a bit of a precarious position. He is going to start to fall away.
Ouch. This is
Damage as he goes.
This is really uncomfortable for the AWP.
It doesn't feel good in this spot, does it?
I mean, you do have money in the bank, but you still want to save this sniper.
They're going to come checking for him. They see him. They know he's there. And Broky will not be able to save the sniper. And he'll be swiped away by Bad News Eagles. And so will another round.
It's again one of these rounds where it feels like BNE just have FaZe flustered. They don't really know how to respond to these situations. They've got kind of the wrong timing reads on all these hits.
I think it's the pace of the game. It feels like FaZe haven't matched it right now. They're struggling to deal with the sheer speed of some of the plays that are coming at them. But this is a good shot. Would have probably been... it's interesting. They use the utility to set up a retake in the banana. They don't actually use it in BNE. Good to hear from the player comms. BNE always in good spirits.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 3-man B stack for FaZe. Surely we'll do a bit of damage.
Goes both ways. Rain, ooh, an opportunity there for a moment. Fumbling grenade, swings on out, snaring Carrigan. Oh, Carrigan gets two, and he's looking for more. Spamming on through, doesn't quite connect onto Rigon. So he is able to escape. Carrigan, oh my god, GXX just throws an AWP shot through the smoke and connects.
Carrigan tried so hard to spam that smoke, and then just a one AWP shot gets him back.
Yeah, GXX like, I'll show you how it's done. Sends it right through, one bullet, perfectly accurate. Carrigan put to sleep. Minute and 5 seconds left. Bad News Eagles start to drift over towards this A site. Currently, it's Rops playing from Graveyard. Now, this position is so strong. It's really difficult to get a player out of here.
He's got help out towards the library as well. Broky's there with the AWP. A perfect setup for this hit.
Twist could start to get round the back. Once the information is gathered, they are committing in towards this A site. But Rops will be the first player to contest the Bad News Eagles play forward off the balcony. They Molotov Rops. He gets one, tries a second before burning away. It is Rion who connects the AWP shot. Now they know where Broky is. They know they've got him pinned in the cubby, so it almost has to be Twist to make the play. And he's still a long way away, finally arriving towards top middle. And Broky just staying alive. Twist making some noise. Oh, that molly's going to be good. Rigon's not in a position to have the health to stand in it, so he has to drift wide. He's looking for this fight. Goes for it. Twist gets caught, and Broky hits the deck. 14 rounds for BNE.
What an unbelievable round from Rigon. How does he win that fight on the Rops? He drops out an AWP in his hand in the mini pit and takes the fight against Rops with a rifle in Graveyard. He should have no right to win that out. Not only that, dodges the Molotov towards him in pit, moves around, and then gets the quick scope. That is an unbelievable round from Rigon.
That's so sick. I thought for sure we were going to see the long player watching for someone leaving pit, but no, they didn't watch it. They just molly it. They don't watch to see if someone's forced out by the Flames. And Rigon realizes, listen, I'm not in a good spot here. I'm just going to try and take a fight. That was a big moment. Brought it back to the 3-on-3. And again, look at how fast the pacing of that play is from BNE. And look at the reaction, the pop-off.
Headset popping off. That excited.
Careful now. You don't want to break any of the equipment and have a tech pause when the momentum's this high. FaZe, they've got themselves the M4 on Rops. The rest will be on pistols. Twist, in particular, on the USP. He'll be the carrier of the utility. It's got to take something magic here, and Rain offers up one. Second kill nearly connected. Very unfortunate not to walk away with it. And FaZe getting destroyed upon this B entry from Bad News Eagles.
There's still that rifle, though. When 2 players, 3 below half, can do a lot if he gets mobile. And Rookie here with the Deagle.
Low health on the planter. I don't think he can do it, though.
Not going to spam. Not even going to find it. Oh, that's unfortunate. Rops, no incentive to go for this.
Yeah, he's nowhere near that. So I'll save that M4 again. But right now, BNE up to map point. This is FaZe's map pick.
Yeah, I think it's important to contextualize that. Firstly, FaZe's map pick. Secondly, this is a map FaZe hadn't lost this year until yesterday against NAVI. They've beaten Cloud9 on this map, Liquid, some big names. It's been one of their home maps. And for BNE to come in like this, So impressive, and Robs can't even get their kill at the end. BNE know they are in a fantastic position to steal away the first map of this series.
I think it was 6-2, and now it's 15-10. You know, this has been a very, very shaky performance from FaZe from pretty much the later stages of the first half.
And everyone from BNE is having those moments, right? Rigon, GXX, Scenario even, we're seeing some really impactful moments from everyone on the BNE side, whereas for FaZe, it's really just Twists. A few rounds from Rops and Rain, but that's really it.
Synopsy runs up Banana. Quick start here for BNE.
Bounce that half-wall smoke. That's actually a smoke Carrigan popularized to try and get through, but Rain tries to pop through. Carrigan backs him up, but it's not enough.
The aggression hasn't worked for FaZe. Twist is going to stay atop Banana. Synopsy's not committing because the bomb's over towards A. Twist, oh, he's going to get spotted. That's the Molotov burning him in the corner. He's dead. He's out of there. Knocked out. BNE just have 2 more players to find, and they're still committing A. They're still going to where there's the best chance for FaZe right now.
Wild.
But they're leaving. Rops is leaving.
They don't.
There's no way they would think this, and so they're running over to try and get back to the B side in time, and now they realize, now they have to come back.
Broky's heard it. Rops, he's coming on through. Bomb still has to get across the smoke. Oh, one flash through. Broky now the only hope left. He's dropped the bomb. Sees GXX, but GXX strikes. Bad news, Eagles. Take FaZe's pick of Inferno. Bad news, Eagles. Take FaZe's pick of Inferno.
Our first time Royal Arena, playing in 2017. We want to win the first time on Danish home soil. Device is sick. We have to play with Dennis as a stand-in. I don't sleep 1 second the whole night. I didn't even understand. I remember me 5 in the morning, going outside, going for a run. I was like, what is going on? Why can't I sleep? And then I go back, I try to sleep. My heart is pumping. I'm like, why did I do that? Why did I even go for a run? We go to the venue the next day, and I see the makeup artist, and I'm like, God help me. I didn't sleep the whole night. We somehow managed to get to the grand final. Everyone is really happy, and we're 9-0 up on third map. Easy. And somehow we managed to lose that. We were 9-0 up on T-side catch. I'm never going to watch that game back. Never ever in my life.
Bad News Eagles take map number 1 from world number 2. Inferno FaZe's map pick goes the other way, and the Bad News Eagles are once again only one map away from confirming themselves a spot at the major.
Incredible performance from them. They deserve all the credit in this one. And we saw one or two moments where the composure was an issue, but on the whole, the composure was much better for these guys, keeping the team play going despite putting themselves in chaotic scenarios. Really impressive, and once they got the opening duels, they never really looked back.
Well, speaking of opening duels, GXX went 5-0 in opening duels. BNE dominated on that front.
Yeah, I think if we compare the two snipers, it tells a huge tale, right? GXX was just having so much freedom, able to take those fights, find the opening, not getting traded out, always finding the space. Brokey felt like we didn't really see him.
No, we didn't, and there was a lot of players we didn't see on stage. It felt like a massive underperformance. It felt like Twist was the only player doing anything, and he was the quietest yesterday. So we got to see more from Robs, got to see more from Rain. Rain really struggled in those opening duels. He lost 8 of them and only won 3. So when you're having your player who's so often so good at creating that space, not getting anything done, it feels rough for FaZe. It feels like you're suffocated.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's so nice for BNE to have GXX perform like this, because we always said him on the AWP hasn't always been the focal point of this team. He hasn't always been the main man, and most teams really build the backbone of their squad on that AWP. But he's been so solid here.
And we've seen a lot of discipline as well from GXX, right? This round in particular, didn't overcommit, was able to wrap back around, and just because he stays alive and he doesn't go for that extra kill, there's so many options available to
I
him.
think that's the key thing we heard from that interview, right, with Jurgon about the discipline that Devilwalk has brought into this roster. Yes, they're still playing the same style of Counter-Strike as we just saw, and it was beautiful to watch. But that extra layer of discipline, that's really made a big difference. Yeah,
they went extra rounds, and they don't lose the silly ones. There was a few that were let slip. It could have been even more convincing from them, but it just looked so good, especially on the CT side, like the second quarter of the CT side. They were able to just look so good and strong when it was coming down to the aggression.
Yeah, it's kind of inevitable to at least have a couple of rounds like that when you play like BNE, because they're always thinking about how they can take the next fight. So I don't mind that, because you see the upside in the rounds they win, where they just get into such advantageous positions. Even just finding even early trades can work for this team, because when they went for their site pushes, they were so quick on them. That round where they came out through apartments, had the molly into Rops's position, they were out the apartments so quick, FaZe couldn't use counter utility or really respond in any way.
Yeah, well, speaking of quick, Twist really racked up a lot of kills very quickly indeed. This was a masterful start from Twist. We thought the Magician was about to pull off another magic trick, but in the end, BNE started to pull it back. Twist did a lot in the start of this game.
Yeah, he was able to pull an ace out of the hat, but really, that was about it. That was, in fact, the moment where BNE started to come back in after that magical round that came on through. But you have to show, I mean, this was fantastic from Twist after the performance against NAVI, right? It's good to see him bouncing back and showing that form.
Let's talk Mirage, guys, as well, because that's coming up next. We just watched Inferno. FaZe's map pick goes the other way. Are we looking at a world in which FaZe go 2-2 here?
I really think so. I really can see that. I mean, Mirage, I'm expecting basically similar to what we got in Inferno. That Inferno game almost weirdly felt like a Mirage game with the amount of options for CT aggression we saw from BNE. Mirage is a better suited map for that, for the BNE side.
Yeah, it felt a little bit like FaZe were trying to play Bad News Eagles' game, right? I mean, we heard in the interview with Raid, they knew what to expect. Nothing really has changed at the core of it. But FaZe trying to match that play style didn't really work out. BNE were coming out ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at FaZe before this, and Rain said that this was the lowest point of their career, that BNE forced them to suffer when they went out at the major in last place after being the defending champions, to come into the RMRs and be put into a 2-2 position where their attendance at Paris is not confirmed by any means. You got one chance left to do it. They've got a lot of work ahead of them.
Yeah, it's actually a really scary position to be in. And also there's the sort of morale. If you lose to BNE in this match, BNE go through to the major, you're suddenly fighting for survival. It's the team that eliminated you from the last major. That's going to be sitting in the back of your head.
It absolutely is.
Yeah, you don't want those thoughts in there. You really don't. You want to just be able to come through in this one. I feel like FaZe really have to make sure. Listen, I feel like they should have expected the maps, right? So I would like them to make sure the nades are really on point. The util is down. I really think that's the important thing for them here. The problem is, they were trying to set up those nades sometimes and just getting caught out. So you can see why it can be an issue for them.
Yeah, in the rounds they were trying to set up nades. I think the one in particular that I remember is when Twist is at T-Star setting up utility, flashes into Banana, and he just has 2 players running down middle at him. You know, there's not really any space to play that traditional style of CS. You're getting disrupted constantly throughout this.
I feel like Mirage, they might have a bit more of that, and I also think it's going to be a map that's going to allow players like Brokey to shine, right? Mirage we often think of as that AWPing paradise, and it feels like he can really show up there where he didn't on Inferno.
The pressure is now just mounting time and time again for FaZe, and you're seeing the problem of going into a 2-0 game versus a team like NAVI, because as soon as you take one loss on your belt, you go down, and there's a lot of scary teams the further you fall in the RMRs, and upsets can come through. You know, you're playing against teams like Bad News Eagles that FaZe have struggled with. You can see already they're struggling still, even 5 months on, right? It's just a style that's very, very tough to deal with for FaZe Clan. And now you're going to go ahead into a second map where the pressure is just super high. I think the FaZe players are talking about coming into the RMRs. You play a simple CS, but it also feels like the event with the most pressure. You almost feel more pressure at the RMRs than you do at the major, because if you don't make the major, that's a disaster.
Yeah, and I feel like there's also a hunger for teams like Bad News Eagles, you know, a team that doesn't have the org representing, isn't getting invited to a lot of those partnered events, right? This is their chance to really make that statement coming through, making the major. It's huge for them, and maybe FaZe, you know, obviously they've got their motivations, but Bad News Eagles, they feel really hungry for it.
Well, Bad News Eagles, one map up. They've snapped up Inferno, and now Mirage waiting in the wings. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we'll see if B&E can lock themselves in for Paris. Bad News Eagles versus FaZe Clan continues as we head into Mirage. Looking good for B&E right now. Very confident, I'm sure, after winning the first map. The work is still yet to be done for FaZe. They come in as favorites still on the Unicorn odds. Bad News Eagles, it's never easy to put away a team of FaZe's caliber. Even when they did it in Brazil, they had to go the full distance, all the overtimes, all the maps. So definitely not going to be easy. This isn't an open and shut case, Lucy.
Yeah, those odds have changed dramatically, though. It was, what, 6-1 at the start?
Yes,
so,
they have
yeah,
dropped significantly.
I think B&E are really starting to prove a point here, because Inferno, honestly, didn't look that hard for them. You know, there was a few contested rounds, but for the most part, it felt like Bad News Eagles was setting the pace, and FaZe, well, they had to play to a tune they weren't comfortable with.
Got to remember, for B&E, this is weirdly a map that their recent form hasn't been as good on, but they've taken losses against some pretty good teams. Cloud9 and FaZe, both very strong teams, and then they actually lost against OneWin earlier at this RMR, so that's maybe a little sketchy, but even in that map loss, GXX was playing well. He was the only positive player on the team, and now it looks like the Riflers are absolutely here to join him in this one.
Devil Walk hands out the final pieces of notes as they prepare to go to battle again here on Mirage. For two teams that are in polar opposite situations. Bad News Eagles without an organization backing them, desperately trying to make their way to the major for financial stability. This has been the only major of this year as well, and they survived based on their major performances and making it there and getting the sticker money in. Whereas FaZe, sure, they've had some financial woes, but they've been a team that picked up the Grand Slam, won the big ones all year, the majors, Colognes, Katowices. They've picked up all of the big tournaments. To not make a major here, the final CSGO major, and be put into the 2-2 bracket, you don't want to have that happen. So FaZe, they need to pull up their socks here against the Bad News Eagles side. They are the expected favorites for this game, but they currently aren't playing like it.
Yeah, in theory, they should be the big fish in a small pond, but some of those small fishes have got some bite to them, Dinko, I'll tell you.
Yeah, the B&E guys are like piranha. They are like vicious when they get going.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the animal comparison I would have gone for. I feel like it's already there in the name, but you know, yeah.
No, the eagle. Yeah, the eagle fish.
Eagles literally eat
Yeah,
fish,
maybe that's it. Boom, yeah, there you go. Swoop down, get the big fish of FaZe, and just make it to the major. Why not?
Well, that's one of the men that wants to carry them there.
I do love it. You got to. You just have to.
Twist's bag is definitely better than Cypher's.
I don't know, man.
You're not a fan of the Tesco signature?
I mean, it's a pretty cool way of rocking up to an event. Way to state your nation right there. But here we go. Bad News Eagles versus FaZe. Mirage underway. Bad News Eagles lead by 1 map. And FaZe start on the CT side. Bad News Eagles would love to get a good pistol here to carry that momentum over.
Full Kevlar for FaZe, so retakes difficult. And this B site does look a little well backed up right now. Rotate arriving here.
Oh, Carrigan smacks Scenario right away. Synopsy able to trade back, and Recon creating further space as he looks at Brokey on low HP and finishes him off. Just Rain and Rops, and when I say it, Rops just gets forcibly removed, so the pistol's done. B&E have the first.
Both parts of that pistol strat just work perfectly. The hit on the site goes exactly as planned. They lose 1 player, but they trade out well. But, I mean, Synopsy was the backup plan. He finds 2 kills in mid, so even if one part of that plan failed, it still comes through, and they hunt down every single last player. B&E starting as they plan to continue.
Yeah, really fast play. I mean, they just win so quickly. And that's with FaZe rotating another player over to this B site. Brokey was arriving. Doesn't really get there in time to help because his teammates fall so fast.
That was the highlight for FaZe, that range shot. That's all that happened really.
It was a nice
in the
shot,
round.
to be fair.
Yeah, it was nice.
Here's the force bite. Carrigan on the scout. Deagle's out for Twists, Brokey, Rops, and Rain.
Synopsy dropped an AK to his teammate. He's got the MAC-10, no utility. The pace man, Carrigan, well, he's removed immediately. Synopsy pincing on through, but nobody is here. Most players playing over towards B, as you often do when you've got the limited weaponry. And, well, Rain maybe gets another one back there. No, Twist is the one to find it. Bomb planted. And this is the force buy, so they're tempted to give it a look in, but Brokey's already limping.
They're backing away, but I don't think they're going to be given that mercy. B&E looking to fight them. Brokey very wounded, but they'll be able to retreat and lick those wounds. FaZe will have to stomach a 2-0 deficit right off the get-go. The FaZe started really strong on Inferno. They don't get that luxury here on Mirage. Bad News Eagles are given the better start.
I feel like on B&E, it's almost a luxury for whoever gets that MAC-10, because that's the player that gets to just run fearlessly at their opponents.
Pick me, pick me.
Exactly. Only the 1 kill for Synopsy this time. But it makes sense, being the 1 man on the mid lurk. Give him the MAC-10. Make sure the rifles just stick together so you don't lose any of them unnecessarily.
And that was the force. I mean, there's really not much here for FaZe. That MAC-10 kept on over. Broke would be happy to have that. Finds a frag or two, be much closer to the AWP. Yeah, a deagle on a couple of players. Carrigan's got a HE. And, well, some of those have been expended already.
An A split. It's definitely being set up right now for Bad News Eagles. Got one player up in Palace, two towards ramp. And two occupying mid itself. Brokey plays for info, flashed into the ramp. Doesn't see anybody, so we'll retreat back to the Underwood.
This is where this kind of pacey aggression can be an issue for B&E if they do just run into a site, but I like the patience from them. They know that a couple of weapons were saved over, that there's likely a stack in play, and if they just poke and prod, they'll get that information.
Comes down to the timing for B&E because the rotations are starting to come through now. FaZe are stacking players in this side of the map.
That wasn't it.
Molly has not connected to the right spot. Rigon goes into mid. Robs falls victim to the AK-47. Ren also thrown into the grave. It's not too difficult right now. Brokey, oh, suddenly with the MAC-10 gets two. And Flatro ceases that fire. And he's looking to continue to fight towards CT. Removing the danger. And just Carrigan actually landed the dink, and scenario is very low. And Rigon's within damage point 2. He's turned around, and Carrigan nearly gets the shot at winning it. But B&E will pick it up.
You could see it happening there, couldn't you?
There was definitely a world there.
The headshot comes, the other player's low. And that's the worry. That's what kind of B&E were worried about, why they were taking their time there. Because if you walk into a site where the stack's in play and they capitalize on the chaos, I mean, that's just great mechanics from Brokey to be able to get that second kill, the transfer across with the MAC-10 spray control. Bit tricky. B&E, crisis averted. It's a little costly.
Yeah, a little sketchy when you swing into pistols like that, especially towards the end. I feel like you can just try and get the bomb down, let your teammates hold for you. This looks like a tech issue potentially on board. Players not moving.
Yeah, I think this one likely to get cancelled. But while that one gets sorted, the Into the Breach bait game.
They're looking good.
2 rounds away from doing it.
Yeah, 14-6.
Would you say it's coming home?
Would you, Alex?
I don't know if we can say it's coming home in CS, can we?
Well,
in the same way.
It's coming home.
Cypher said it.
Qualified.
I saw a HLTV article. He said it's coming home.
He did say it.
Well, it's coming home. They qualified for the majors. He's saying the full majors coming home, or are they just making it, I guess? The RMR trophy. Everyone was sought after RMR trophy.
For the UK, I think, you know, you've got to set your sights at the realistic target.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting there.
Exactly. That's really impressive that they're getting that.
I think they were the second lowest ranked team coming into this event, if I'm not mistaken. So really impressive for them to step up like that.
We do have an issue just with Twist, obviously, so we're getting that one sorted as quickly as possible, and the action will continue. But 14-6, looking like Beta are going to at least step up there on the other side of things. That's over on the A stream. Stay with us here for FaZe versus Bad News Eagles, which will resume very shortly. So far on Mirage, FaZe haven't impressed just yet. Obviously, just a slow start. We haven't gotten to the gun rounds.
Yeah,
I haven't really got going yet.
Yeah, that first gun round will be coming up, and it is important. If I'm Carrigan on FaZe, I'm instantly telling the team out of the tech timeout, guys, let's remember, focus on stopping the fast plays. Dump utility early, because when you're in a tech pause like this, your mind might wander sometimes. You might not be fully on board when you get back into the game. And that's when Bad News Eagles can punish you.
And they have been punishing. We've seen it time and time again. See if that will continue here on Mirage.
On the action. We'll resume now. Issue is sorted out. A 3-0 lead for Bad News Eagles, and here comes that first gun round. Time for FaZe to get into it.
Yeah, up on both sides. So we were saying it's important for Brokey, especially when you're against the fast aggression. You want your CT sniper to be stopping those fast plays.
Might get a chance in mid.
Yeah, look how quick GXX is to get up to this position. He's at the chair already. He's going to be looking for that opening at short, but there's no aggression coming from FaZe towards this side of the map. A heavy lean for B&E on that B side.
It's a great position just to get in so early. You might see that peek coming in from mid at some stage. Twist is in the area. Although with time passing now,
It's the fight from Connector that was coming first. Brokey was on a collision course to get that fight down in towards the underpass, and he comes out with it.
Exactly what we wanted to see from him. If they swing into him dry, he has to hit shots like that. Positions himself well. Now, what is the response from B&E? Because the utility is a real concern here. They've put a smoke up into window. They might need to make their move now, and they want this split onto the B-bomb site.
Brokey's rotated here. Twist as well. Exactly the duo you want on the side. Brokey peeks on out, finds another. Repositioning. Scenario's trying to find the space. The rest of the hit coming through the apartments. Rotations on their way. That smoke is causing so much trouble.
Snopsy, blinded, caught. Brokey crucifies another. Scenario and GXX, a 2 versus 5. Not looking recoverable. Gets underneath Twist, but Carrigan's arrived in the rotation with Rops, and the reinforcements come in for FaZe. They find their first, and it's the first gun round going their way.
It's a very good sign that Brokey's willing to take a few plays with confidence there. Instantly calling, okay, I'm going to move into Connector, and then he's the one that says, I want to move over to B. I think there's a good chance the round ends here. And he ends the round on that B-bomb site. Especially after having a fairly rough first map. Good signs for FaZe that Brokey is delivering early.
And the immediate timeout in response as soon as FaZe get on the board. B&E, they want a moment to reflect. As they kind of just walked into the crosshairs of Brokey that round.
Yeah, they used them early as well on Inferno, and they were able to find the solution really quickly. So I think it's good to use these timeouts nice and early. It's proven to be effective for B&E. Devilwalk likes to get on the mic. And most of the time when you look at it, it's not even Devilwalk really communicating the most, obviously. It's hard for him to use those quick 30 seconds to translate in a language that is their secondary language. So usually it's one Flatro having to say, Synopsy getting involved, everyone chimes in to find the ideas. It's a team unit here.
Yeah, big conversation point is how they execute this round, because it's barely light on utility, and a Tech 9 for Synopsy, not what you want, so it's just going to be pace coming out. Rops in the sandwich in the power position, gets the first, swinging on through for another. Break comes on through from GXX, and the reinforcements have arrived.
And the rotation is here. And Brokey playing down towards Ticket, peering over the side of the smoke. It's all gone silent for the time being, but it is just the calm before the storm. It is about to erupt. Bad News Eagles slow to a halt, waiting for the mistake from FaZe to come around, waiting for them to get a little overzealous or hungry for info. And Brokey knows the angle the rig on is likely to peek from. It's not gone so well here for B&E out of the timeout. FaZe up 4 players to 2 with under a minute left. And the bomb hasn't really got too close to the site yet. Brokey has just been a menace towards Ticket.
Look at the scaff he's using now. Hole in the smoke, player tucked into Ticket.
Carrigan's over at jungle now too. He can come out of window room once they realize that 2 remaining players are committed into the site. Can molly that option away for now. Smoke off the connector. Get a bomb plant here. And that's a good peek up for Ren. He knows the last player is just on the triple stack. And it's going to be Brokey to clear it out. And FaZe to pull off the round to go to 2 rounds.
Meanwhile, Into the Breach do confirm their win. Celebrations already on board for the boys. Great win for them. So now it's all eyes on this matchup. And I think for B&E here, if they'd have pushed a little quicker behind Synopsy, Rops is in a really precarious position. Maybe you can trade him and get towards the site. I was a little concerned when Rops was playing that spot, but works out. And now we've got a Hero AK, or maybe just a Force. I think it is just the 1 AK in play for B&E.
Yes, it's kind of a result of the past round where they did opt to full buy into that one, even though they didn't really have the economy to get out the utility, and you can see where that led to them just stuttering. They had no smokes, no mollies trying to take position until the ones that fell for GXX were collected. And the consequence of that is now just these pistols. And really rig on the man that has to do it all.
Well, Rops, this is a chance for him to get a few easy kills. It's going to go down and soften them up. And that M4, oh, it's only good for 1. Twisty, be careful, he's been dinked, and now they have an upgraded weapon in their hands. Scenario removes Twist, and Opsy runs out of the ramp, and FaZe are suddenly down to 2 players. Carrigan nipping at their heels, Brokey saving the day for the time being, and just Scenario, he's left on 9 HP. It shouldn't be a world in which he pulls this one off. but he has plenty of time to try.
He just needs to catch the timing. FaZe should have all the advantage here. Scenario, no chance. Drops on by, spotted. Brokey has his number, and that bomb out in the open. Scenario's going to get up on close, but Carrigan's come to reinforce. Good for one, maybe, but two, surely impossible. And Brokey switches to the sidearm to get FaZe the round.
Yeah, solid work, but still a little sketchy there for FaZe. Not exactly fully according to plan for them in that round. Pretty impressive for the Pistols to do this much work. See a couple of players softened up early, but Brokey has still been delivering, really consistently getting kills in almost every round that FaZe are winning right now. We are seeing the lack of utility be a bit of an issue for B&E in some of those scenarios. His B site hasn't been tested in a while. ENCE will beat that volley.
Yeah, he's beat it indeed, and he's been so good in the series so far at getting the openings. Over on Inferno, dominated. But no jump peaks, no information being gathered at all here for GXX. He really wanted the opening kill to go their way from that move. Still hanging around, and the opening of the round will come from Twists. Synopsy caught unaware, and the gaps filled in by the utility too, so Rigon can't chase that trade kill.
Yeah, and the lack of util for B&E is tough here. Their final smoke was used into top connect, and they have to go, but they get the peek into them.
Yeah, good pick from Rigon. Twist just dry open. And it's
trouble.
Rain's just missed it. Carrigan is now alone inside of the site. He's having to defend from two fronts. And they're going to overrun him. Of course they will. Rigon avoids the problem of Rain and leaves a huge opening on this B site. Now the bomb can be picked up yet again. And 49 seconds left. It's Brokey and Rops up against three of the Bad News Eagles players. And Brokey's scope, now severed off with the smoke going up. Rops has got to do it from short. He's delivered one. Brokey moves forward, active, gets on the other side, gets on the bin, and Rigon, low health, runs out of ammo, and Brokey does recover what was a scary moment for FaZe.
And what a recovery, because that one was about to fall apart. Rigon gets past Rain, who was unaccounted for in ladder, but GXX holding in short actually takes him down. And so suddenly it's only these players coming through from the same position in kitchen, but Brokey taking the active fight, Rops getting involved, they're able to make it work, but it comes down to the wire.
Get Brokey the glue at the end of the round, plugging the gap when required. For B&E, it feels like they're limiting their options somewhat by consistently not having full utility in these rounds. They only had a couple of flashes left there. They kind of had to go for the B split. And now in this one, it's pistols and a bit of utility to work with. This A site is fairly vulnerable right now, though.
Smoke goes through. That's going to slow it down temporarily, but they're not going to respect it. Running on through, Rain actually wants to take this fight, and he gets overwhelmed by the Tech 9. No one in position, as mentioned, to be able to do anything in response.
Now they want more than that. They've tasted the bomb plant. What else can they get out of this round? Brokey is waiting for the aggression, but it is not coming just yet. They've gathered up a stack of players on the left side. Brokey realizes that's where they have to be, but dealing with it is easier said than done. GXX and Scenario charge forward, and FaZe once again have to stomach a round loss in that fashion.
Ouch. Pistols just overrun the A site. Rain was hoping the smoke would be enough to hold them back, but this is a round where B&E are especially able to loosen up. They're not going to stop for that smoke. They've got their mind set on that A bomb site. They might as well just take the risk of running through. Wasn't enough there for FaZe to lock it down. And then that push into CT. Carrigan had to be the pillar to back up Brokey, who hit the first shot, but he couldn't deliver.
And you can kind of understand the decision-making from Rain there. I know he's caught out in the open here, but, you know, he sees pistols streaming out from Palace, right? It's a very common play on these lighter buys. The M4, obviously, you feel like you can get a multi-frag there and maybe even end the round, but the fact that the rotations were, you know, a little bit delayed, there was no one there to support. He goes down. Suddenly it falls apart. B&E find a round back in the most unusual of fashions.
Entry pathing was really cool there too. You clear under Palace by getting onto the site, and that's when you have your back turned while the flash is popping onto Rain. Really great timing on the flash, and Rain is having a tough time in this round. Look at Robs though on the minimap. How is he so far forward?
This is wild. He's just gone on an investigation and wants to keep going. He won't stop, and he might get his reward. Oh! Synopsy turns back at the correct time, and Rops, I thought he had it for sure.
That's a huge kill, because now FaZe can't stack this A site on the rotate, and the A play is coming in.
Broky's had to rotate as well. Karrigan's there, Rain on the site, low HP, out in the open again, but somehow finds the frag. Almost an opportunity for a second, but Twist goes down as well. A free entry into the site. Bomb can be planted. Broky's close in jungle. No chance here, surely not, unless the kill's gifted, but no. Synopsy takes down Karrigan, and Broky, it's a mission of survival.
Yeah, this half is going to be so rough for FaZe. They're getting toyed with at the moment. Another great round for Bad News Eagles. They're taking the lead. Broky drops down into the underpass. Shot will connect. But they're on the hunt. Oh, chasing it behind. Broky's down to half health. Well, Flatro is not going to give up this. He knows getting that AWP is important. And that is a huge loss for FaZe, not only in the round, but the weaponry going into the next. It's becoming a bit of a worrisome position for them, because now they're not even really in a position to recover this. It doesn't look convincing at any point. Bad News Eagles are outplaying them in these rounds.
Yeah, this kind of feels like the start of Inferno, right? Where FaZe got up to a good run of rounds, and then suddenly B&E started playing this style of Counter-Strike that FaZe just weren't ready for, and it feels like they're a step ahead on a lot of these executes.
It's weird with B&E, because when they win rounds, it really feels like they just win them so easily. Like, you feel like they're just a cut above their opponents, because it looks so comfortable. They just seem to win almost every fight. They quickly get kills onto a site, and they're suddenly up in like a 4v2, like that round. Really impressive for them to have this level of firepower. And for FaZe, it's almost a different story here. Well, it's a similar story to the first map, except it's Broky who's stepping up this time, not Twists.
Yeah, in the sequel, the main characters change, but Tail is playing out the same way. And, well, 6 for Bad News Eagles, looking likely. We've got a CZ for Karrigan, 5-7 for Rops. He's the only one with armor. And they've stacked the B bomb site. Now, the concern here is B&E are interested in this side of the map.
No Mac 10 to send in first either. Have to be a rifle investigating, which can get concerning in these close angles. They've got to be aware this molly hasn't cleared out Rops entirely. Yep, they weren't aware. Oops.
Well, that's...
You're so tempted by the AWP, though.
You really are. But Rops is...
He's smart.
Waiting on his teammates to come and help. Gonna claim it as a unit. Let's look at Synopsy. He's got the gap at the bottom of the smoke. Rain. He's gonna be ready for it. He's sending shots through. He's trying to warn Synopsy. Don't hang around that window. You do not want to mess with this. He's gone for it, confirming his position in that smoke. But look at B&E. Look at the way they're slipping into the A site. Finally, Twist will look at it. There was an open A site pathway for the bomb. Twist peeked out, got one, but the bomb is slipping its way forward to that site. And there's no one there to protect it.
An open pathway, but no smoke. They're lucky to get past that AWP, and the bomb does go down. No reason for FaZe not to send bodies at this.
Synopsy's cutting off those bodies from getting towards the site in mid. It's a strong hold from Synopsy. Got the Glock up against the USP and still wins against Broky. One Flatro will help close it out. So yeah, a couple of moments there where FaZe think they may have a chance into the round, but in the end, leaving the A site open. That's B&E's opening. They see it and they move through it towards the site to close the round.
Yeah, retake's still really difficult there, especially because the gun you stole was the AWP. So it's not like you can easily run in with that and trade your teammate.
Yeah, that got a little scary there, right? The AWP goes down, it's recovered. The position you're holding is through connector, and that's where the bomb's going.
Loudest places on Earth, beside a jet engine and in the B&E player room.
And a baby crying on a plane.
Yeah, well, that is one of the more irritating noises. Here in B&E, celebrate is the opposite. We'll have to see the celebrations on their faces. That's after winning a round against majority pistols.
I feel like, yeah, if you're ever having a bad day, just watch B&E winning a Counter-Strike game. It'll cheer you up.
Well, maybe not today if you're a FaZe Clan fan. Rops set up for the peek into ramp, and it is going to work well. Synopsy had no chance.
Rigon going to come and step into his position. Rops is vacated. Did take a bit of damage in that, but with Rain holding this, well, actually, he's gotten off the angle, and Rigon has slipped on through. Rain between two spots, and this might cause concerns. Rigon's going up on over. has the potential to disrupt everything, has spotted the first player. Gets him down,
Whoa.
but Robs unaccounted for. The Flames coming on through, but Robs swings out.
There was a second there where I thought Robs was about to get taken out. It looked like Rigon was about to compose himself, but they're slipping into the B play indeed. Twist is out, towards short, but GXX has cut off the rotation, so it has to be Twist. And they run one by one. That gives Twist an easy headshot on Scenery. GXX though, okay, what a round! GXX is just picking one player after another and forces Robs into the clutch. They know exactly where he's coming from. They just seen him a few moments ago towards A, and GXX, no problem. 4K for GXX. The AWPer for BNE is delivering today.
GXXXX. What a round from the AWPer from BNE. Catches the rotate of Carrigan and then able to clear Twist from that position. Twist had his number. He knew exactly where he was coming from.
Tried to put down that smoke, wasn't effective. And you saw the celebration from GXX. He deserves to take a bow after that round. We were saying that his step up could be so important for BNE on this map.
We've got to say though, BNE are coming into this game today feeling it. They are looking so sharp individually. These are the rounds that look very good for FaZe Clan. GXX, the spacing from his initial players in was not good enough. This really shouldn't be happening, but he ends up just finding a way to isolate every one of the fights, and he doesn't miss the shots. They're taking their opportunities right now, and they're going to FaZe. They're knocking on their door, and they're matching them, even surpassing them in individual skill.
I feel like BNE have got a new celebration noise every time. And they've been celebrating a lot.
Calm, right, with the amount of screaming they do.
Well, they're going to be screaming into B right now. Warcry perhaps on towards these CTs. Synopsis is going to be at the front of the pack, and Carrigan, he is coming to meet them. Coming to try and deal with a peace treaty, but they are the players in power, and they will charge right forward. Carrigan has no chance with dealing with Rigon. Twist is so far removed, and I love the call. The simple call to attack into this B site, overwhelm it, flood it with BNE players. And an 8th round picked up. They've won this half already.
It's done. Mac 10 confirmed. Not even needing the money at this stage. It was purchased just for the pace. Twist gets one, and it's a nice headshot, but not going to add too much. What a round from BNE. What a half from BNE. What a series. They can almost taste Paris.
Yeah, looking at some of the numbers for FaZe, opening duels have been okay for them, but multi-kills have not been great. Outside of Brokey, who has 5 multi-kills, Robs is the only other player with any. 3 players on the team without a single multi-kill round. Damage is decent, but BNE have got a fair bit of cash after winning so convincingly.
Yeah, they've got a lot of cash, but, you know, as much as this is looking good for BNE right now, you've got to always have it in the back of your head that FaZe last year made themselves known as the comeback team, the team that can come back from anything. That when they're behind, they sometimes play their best CS. And sure, they look demoralized right now. It feels like they don't have the answers, but sometimes it can all start to come together. And I'm not saying that FaZe look great today. They definitely don't look in that kind of form, but there's always the possibility.
And with a momentum-based team like BNE, you stifle that momentum, suddenly can all fall apart.
Look at the speed they're going with yet again. Look how quick Synopsis just using this Mac 10, getting into these positions. FaZe are having to deal with speed again, and they couldn't deal with it on Inferno.
This is just crazy to do this. There's even the light there, so you can kind of spot the player jumping in, but somehow he's surviving. Finally, Rain takes him out, but it's the B site the entire time.
Again, it's B. This time it's Carrigan standing tall. Twist able to help from short, and the bomb is still in the apartments. It's just 2 players left, and Scenario is the rifler. Really needs to do a lot.
It's just GSX now. We saw a 4K from him before. He's coming to the AK, but no, Robs takes him down.
Finally, the B hole does something with that, right? Carrigan, a couple of times he's been caught. Whether he doesn't have the weapons for it, whether they get caught off guard by the speed. This time, they're ready. They hold the B site, and it's much stronger from FaZe.
That's impressive, too, because you can see what BNE were going for there. The fast play into window just causing so much chaos there. Even gets away there for a moment, just attracting Rain, but they don't budge on B.
Yeah, I don't think it causes enough chaos just getting one player in window like that, because you kind of know he's stuck behind the smoke. Like, where's he going there? You're not really that scared. It draws the attention a little bit from Twist. It doesn't do enough. And FaZe realize, okay, that's not actually a real threat right now, unless he gets a kill. Here's GXX, confident to try to take the fight. Oh, it was a rifle on the other side. And it's gone.
Yeah, it's a great kill, and Robs can't get away with the trade, so he's going to be very frustrated about that. He swung ramp pretty quickly, but BNE were out of there faster. And one flat throw up into the window. Such a strong position to have.
And this time around, he's done it without being noticed. Tucked on in. BNE have everything into this round.
Oh yeah, this is rough. Rough for FaZe. 1 minute left. BNE have a lot of options available to them, and that's an important fight. Once the choke point progression starts to come in, you've got to win them if you're FaZe. And Twist and Karrigan, 2 rounds back to back now where they found some really important kills.
Not really able to make chaos happen with the positions they got themselves into. FaZe recede back, wait for the play. Now they flash in. Info gathered, but no kills.
Well, Brokey's been very good so far. Up towards the ticket box. He's got to at least get a few here because Twist is getting taken down to 3 health. Unfortunate there for BNE not to take that kill, and here goes Brokey. Oh, the distraction set up. That gives him a window of opportunity to peek out. And Scenario's brought down. GXX, the bomb carrier, and the AWPer. Synopsy! Oh, that's one way to deal with Brokey. 1 tap to the skull. Karrigan swings to CT, and the cleaner, he's cleaned up. 2 kills, no problem. Karrigan saves that round for FaZe.
How back and forth is that? I thought GXX might actually have a chance when he jumps across to safety, but it's still so tricky. Karrigan knows he's done damage. This is a good recovery from FaZe, but it's also another one of those rounds where you could argue BNE overextends slightly with some of their players elsewhere.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, the fact that BNE almost came back into that after losing the fight to Karrigan and Twist, right? To put it back into the 3-on-3, and they're still able to almost make it work. That tap from Synopsy was absolutely delightful.
Oh, wow.
One Fletcher. Well, speaking of taps drops out of the server.
That's the only AK they have in the last round here of the first half, but it's already got involved, and it leaves the B site very vulnerable right now. Twist has gone investigating towards mid. I think he might get back in time, though.
The boost again. Oh, Brokey's ready for it this time.
You can't go window every round. Twist. Oh, aggression short, spotted by Rigon. No issues there. And now Rain, oh, he is stuck in sandwich. He decides that's not a comfortable position. He gets out of dodge just at the right time, but the pressure's not over. Rigon hunts him down. Brokey commits to just 1 kill, and the opening is there for Bad News Eagles. Karrigan's coming back. Bomb planted on the safe side of triple, and the flank is coming around the backside. Karrigan has no idea. There's a player in behind him. He won the clutch in the previous, but this one is so difficult, and Wham Flatro will close it. Bad News Eagles with the advantage. This map is on a knife's edge. Welcome back to Bad News Eagles versus FaZe Clan in the 2-1 matchup. Sure, you're not facing elimination here, but if FaZe lose this, they set to play Mouse in the 2-2 last chance game to qualify for the last ever CSGO major in Paris. FaZe Clan can drop the ball here. They're one map down already. They're behind in the first half, and Mouse await them if they lose. The ramifications of this are massive.
That's actually insane. Major champions just a year ago, potentially not attending the last CSGO major. Now we are getting a few steps ahead of ourselves. BNE still have to close it here. They can almost taste it. 3 rounds up at the half, and the juggling is coming out.
The differences in pressure you can already see, right? BNE are in control right now. They're a map up. They're in control of this map. And FaZe have all the pressure in the world. They played NAVI. They got absolutely destroyed. They come down to this matchup. This is their best opportunity on paper, right? Is to go through BNE. But they've been here before. BNE have broken their hearts in Rio. The last time they played, knocked them out last place in the Rio Major, ruining their chances of being able to claim the title back-to-back, right? Find that and hold that major title as the contender. But right now, this could happen again. You know, we're going up against Mouse in a decider game. That is not safe at all.
Yeah, and you've got to love the attitude, the mindset that BNE come in with. They always look like they're having a good time. It's a little easier when you're playing so well, when you're winning against FaZe.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning here as well, we do have a sound issue for Twist that we're getting resolved to get this second half underway. Obviously, with a game this important, you make sure everything is perfect. Twist has been burdened by quite a few issues, unfortunately, here in this second map. But for FaZe, the second half recovery, that first half recovery, it could have been worse. I think Carrigan really started to step up with some massive rounds. I mean, that clutch that he won over towards CT spawn, he doesn't win that. Imagine the position FaZe are in.
I think that's one of the great qualities of Carrigan as a leader is when he, you know, often he is kind of the first player in to kind of set up his teammates, but when he's in those clutch positions, he's actually very competent in them. And we saw it there, the 1v2 to pull that one off and get a reasonable scoreline at the half.
And this is why Carrigan coming into this event set the expectations of everybody's asking him the question, oh, you want to go 3-0, you want the Legend stage? He just doesn't care. He just wants to be at the major because he knows how hard it is to get through these teams. I mean, look at the teams that have been dropped. The defending major champions aren't even going to the next major. And now FaZe, they had to play NAVI in the decider game of the 3-0. Now they're down here in the 2-1 game versus BNE, who are absolutely wrecking them right now. And if they fall again, Mouse. So you see, coming into this tournament, when you mess up at the major, your seeding gets all screwed up and you're in a position where you're going to have to deal with a lot of difficult teams on your path to Paris. And right now, that path to Paris might have a few extra obstacles.
Yeah, Miles could be a real bane for a lot of fans' existence. If they take out VP and then FaZe, that would be crazy. I think in this game right now, we've seen Brokey have a really good first half. GXX has had his moments, but he has been quieter. And I wonder whether on CT's side, we'll get to see him freed up just that little bit more. Had a lot of those explosive rounds from BNE, which can make it tricky as an AWPer to always keep up. Definitely need to have a specific set of skills, a specific play style to be able to play that way.
Neeson.
Exactly.
Let's take a look at the opening duels, because that was actually a topic of interest coming into Inferno. Bad News Eagles dominated them. Here right now, GXX, he's 1-1. He was much better on Inferno at grabbing those openings. A bit more balanced across the board here. Rop's winning the majority of them. For FaZe also losing the majority of them, so involved in 7. I
think GXX was 5-0 on Inferno at one stage, but a lot of that was championed by the CT side, which obviously now they move on to.
Oh, I've just got news that we are ready to get this second half underway. FaZe Clan with everything on the line. They do not want to have to go to that 2-2 game where they will face Mouse. They want to get through Bad News Eagles. 1 map down, 3 rounds down, heading into the second half. BNE in full control as they go onto the defense, and FaZe are setting up for the A play.
One of the most important pistol rounds, right? The execute coming through onto A, and, well, BNE just aren't here.
They've got a kit and a smoke for the retake at a minimum, but there's no way they get a kill before the bomb goes down. Question is, do FaZe take CT control? And it looks like they do, so some better post-plant positions. Let's see if they can lock this in.
They got some of the best pistol players in the world, and they're about to be set up for a flash in towards CT. Rigon's flank caught by Twist. He watches for it. Flash goes over. Rain set up. Does not deliver. In fact, it is Brokey that claims the kill for that maneuver, and then they double swing, and Scenarii gets 2. He's still standing. Synopsy strong. A turret from that spot, and still a 2v2. Remember, Scenarii has a kit, and he is rolling forward. A tank moving at quick speed. Shot after shot. Smoke on the bomb. Kit on his back, and the knife pulled out. He's missed it. And just at the last second, Twist cuts him down.
I can't believe he took a swing and a miss in the smoke. He still gets it. That was like 0.05 or something crazy on the timer. I'm convinced.
What a clutch from Twist, though. Winning out that duel over the stairs, that is everything. It felt like Scenarii did so much. 0.01.
I mean, if that doesn't show you the thinnest of margins can make the difference in Counter-Strike, I don't know what does.
BNE, 0.01 seconds away from being on 10 rounds. But they force by into the next. FaZe, it is not a done deal. It is not a clean start to the second half unless you remove this force by you're up against.
Yeah, really, BNE deserved to win that and landed some great shots in the process. So you go up against this force by, you still got to be concerned. Good turn kill from Twist, though.
The savior of the last round goes ahead. Sees one Flatro, second kill in. Dealing with a force by right now. Synopsy is hearing the steps, sprinting towards A. He's going to try and speed up himself.
He's the only one that can do anything here. Teammates are still on B. They're not even budged. Rox is holding for it. Wins it out. Takes a bit of damage in the process, but the round is done. Twist, he had a fantastic T-side early, didn't he, on that opening map? And it looks like here on Mirage, getting off to the same sort of start.
Yeah, it was maybe a little risky moving into connector like that, but I'm honestly fine with it. I want to see Twist start to feel it in that way. That's a great shot from GXX.
Even if Rain goes down here, at least you're getting info on what weapons are available in the next round. So Brokey's still pushing the issue over here. But FaZe can sigh a little bit of relief there that they haven't gone down to the force by. Won it pretty convincingly. 4 players still up. Brokey, sound cue made as he hops on up. He will remove GXX, so had some insult to injury there for BNE. Just the one deagle saved over. Should be another round here for FaZe.
Suddenly gets a little bit more comfortable. 2 6-9 halves they've had to face down, and this one now about to be evened up. And it all comes down to Twist just getting some fantastic openers. The force bite not able to achieve anything here. So now it's just Scenarii that's really got anything to say, except for those 2 deagles.
Well, it's a quick A play. Looks again from FaZe. Very simple. Everyone's setting up. Outside of A, apart from Rain, you'll often just see Rain be this solo mid player. They can rely upon him. They have for years.
Yeah, definitely a safe pair of hands. Smoke for window. FaZe still with eyes set on this A site. We have got some players here with upgraded pistols. I think the utility will likely count them out completely.
Everyone's scrambling. They're going to be here.
Whoa, the bomb is still at ramp.
They're looking to take the control first, and this could be a concern. They could walk straight in. The boost's on over. Synopsy's found one. Brokey's charging on through, looking for the fight back. He jumps. Rigon finds another, but Carrigan, he's recovering. 2 kills, a third to his tally before Synopsy trades.
Carrigan is bailing them out time and time again here. He's recovered that. They found the loose thread up towards Palace. They took so long getting into the A play that the rotation comes in, and BNE can be a bit more free with the lack of weaponry. So a cool boost, great bit of engineering to get that first kill. They pull the loose thread. It starts to unravel, and then Carrigan has to pull them out of the hole again.
Yeah, you find that Brokey looks so uncomfortable. He ends up jumping awkwardly on the stairs. Not ideal. BNE makes sure to group up so that they can swing together, try and cause some chaos. Does do a bit of damage to the FaZe economy, but here comes the buy for BNE. Pretty much everything they could want in this round.
Slightly lighter on the utility, but shouldn't matter too much. GXX has the AWP crucially. Such a menace on Inferno.
Look how far back FaZe are holding in some of these positions. Really just waiting to see if there's aggression. And when Rops gets to this position especially, why not wait to see if someone gives you a fight?
Because you know they will. It's Bad News Eagles. It's what they do.
Haven't seen many rounds play out like this, have we? Very quiet in the first 40 or so seconds. Finally, some utility into mid. FaZe still with plenty of nades remaining. And connector control should be taken pretty comfortably here if they want it.
Rain and Twist look to enter connector just as the rest of the prong of the approach comes through ramp. She's starting to gather that info. Good first peek. Twist falls, and there's no trade potential. One flat row. Oh, he will fall. Rain doubles. That's the space creator. The Rain did not do over on Inferno. This time he's having a round. Comes up through the connector. Pulls 3 beautiful kills. And Scenarii, he's still alive. He's still kicking from the jungle. And he's looking to be the king of it. And unfortunately, Brokey will usurp his throne.
Yeah, it was a little bit messy there from BNE, trying to respond quickly. GXX just jumps down into mid with the AWP out. I mean, Rain had 10 HP. GXX maybe was a bit more ready for that fight. He had his pistol out and potentially picked that one up. But Rain, I mean, what a fantastic couple of kills. After that first one comes through to connector, he responds in kind, makes it double.
So Synopsy put that smoke onto the A site, just trying to create a bit of space. But the one angle he's still exposed to is Rain over towards connector, so it's so important that Rain gets that kill. Otherwise, Synopsy could have played around the smoke, bought some time, which would have made it very uncomfortable for FaZe. Instead, Rain makes it easy for them, and now it's faster from FaZe against the Pistols. They're already setting up this B split. Oh, Juan Flatro misses his opportunity. Oh, but makes up for it.
Well, he gets a second chance, doesn't he? A second crack at the whip. This time he connects it, and now they're stacking B. So many plays to try and get through. Rain has done well for one. Twist has to now step up as FaZe start to filter through. Synopsy retreats further and further back, relinquishing control of the site. And GXX now alone. Eventually, FaZe will take them out and, in fact, go on fire with 5 rounds in a row.
Well handled, considering they walked directly into the stack in a 4-on-5. The fact that they were able to come out ahead with 2 players surviving is a testament to their thoroughness on the approach. A 2-round lead for FaZe. Not been recent that they've been in the lead. They can't get complacent. We've seen what BNE can do once they get on a roll.
It's a question of whether BNE can get back into that position here, because it has started to get a little more serious now.
Difference is, you know, you've had Rain come online over the last few rounds. Karrigan's been just keeping them floating here. Brokey's obviously had a good first half, a good second half. He's here right now. Twist getting involved in that previous round. Once those stars start to activate, you know, this becomes the FaZe that we know. There was only Twist on Inferno, only Brokey in the first half. But now there's been some time, and FaZe has started to warm up into this, and this is the real FaZe once these players are online.
Major winning phase, Grand Slam winning phase. You just know Paris is on their mind. And B-side also on their mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Stacking up. Everyone over on this side of the map. It's about to be a quicker play here for FaZe.
Looks like it. GXX with that AWP not in the right position. Lurk smoke out.
So it's Scenarii that's under pressure then. Molotov towards the van. Oh, he's tucked in. He has to get a multi-kill here. His teammates at short trying to help him. He slipped a net. The rotation is very quick to come back over. There's 3 players on this site right now, and FaZe have slowed it right down. There's a second wave of the attack coming in now. Flash being set up, and because of that slowdown, the rotation starts to come back through. BNE start to second-guess this rotation, and this is a good call for FaZe. Now they go again. Scenarii is under pressure once more. FaZe come crashing down on the B site, but the round might come crashing down around them. Luckily, Scenarii is forced out of position, but Bad News Eagles have got back. The reinforcements are here, and Brokey cannot stand the cavalry.
I feel like that was full mind games that FaZe are trying to play there. You see sometimes Karrigan has these rounds where he will just solo try and fake the B site. It almost looked like they wanted to feign that out and make BNE think it was the solo fake. But BNE aren't going to leave that B site entirely. They're always going to keep players at least somewhat close by, even if they just go back towards mid, and that rotate back comes through.
Yeah, and the lack of contact anywhere else, I mean, why are you going to go far? GXX, yeah, he might go through to window or jungle, but it doesn't take him long to get back to B and find that impact. Karrigan just thrown in with the Sharks, and once they tasted blood, they didn't budge.
Time will take him. Letting Rolban have a say too. Just think of Rolban in this story as well. The major that they won, he didn't get to stand behind them. The major that he did go to, they went last place. Now struggling here in the RMRs. don't think how disappointed it would be for him as an individual if they were to go down to that 2-2 game.
Money on the line in this one for FaZe. Full investment. Boost up early into a run boost. Oh, that is so dangerous to not go behind the boxes. He's out in the open and he's a dead man.
Yeah, he's missed the shot. Rigon's going to snap that up. A great opportunity for Bad News Eagles to find the opening kill, and because Rain took damage, the nade finishes him.
Fletcher gets away from all of that with a single point of HP, but it's enough, and now Rigon, he wants to get back into it. Pushing up into mid, Carrigan on the other side, and comes out ahead just about.
Another important kill, one for Carrigan. He's found so many of these for FaZe in the tightest situations, in the darkest moments. He has been pulling them out, but it's still a 4 versus 3, albeit one Fletcher on 1 health, but he's still standing.
Yeah, you do wonder, was that necessary from Rigon up in a clean 5-on-3? But that's the way BNE like to play. And now they stay spread. 2 players on B, 2 on A. That leaves an open window in towards window in mid. And Twist is going to try and use this position. It's a little too risky to assume it's wide open, though. So they'll leave Twists on the lurk. It looks like they'll move back towards B.
Dropping the smoke there might bait out some movement, and that's where Twits can maybe catch someone out, peeking in towards mid. You see, that's definitely a possibility.
20 seconds.
There it is.
Limited
Snary's
time.
Walked on through.
Timing.
Turned away.
Looks away. Scenario catches him looking the wrong way. 17 seconds left. GXX still here. And FaZe are not getting towards that site right now. Robs is going to drop down into the site, but what can he hope to do? GXX tracks him, hunts him, and puts him on the wall.
It's back to the usual tricks that we saw in Inferno. BNE setting the pace.
I thought Twist saw the shadow on short, to be honest.
Surely he did.
I don't know. It seemed like he just didn't react to it. Maybe was focused in his mind on making the play forward already. That was the strong start. That's the strong close. GXX in the right place at the right time. Oh, I think he did react after.
Well, that little buffer that FaZe have built themselves up is now gone. It's faded away, and in fact, they are down to pistols. They've been reset on the money, and Bad News Eagles now looking to head into the lead.
God. Okay, Raid, he really wanted that pick, didn't he? I mean, he has to be one of the heroes. I think he'll drop the D to a teammate now. You can see why, with a buy like this, you would try and just take a risk like that. Yeah, we said at the start of the round, it was a key one for FaZe to win. Their money now in trouble. And this should be a very clean round win.
Yeah, no issues here for BNE. Heading into the lead. FaZe have got to stomach it, and oh, this is where Carrigan's going to feel a lot of pressure on his shoulders as the caller to figure out the solutions. The pathway back into this game, because every time they found a few rounds here, or it seems like they've opened up. Bad News Eagles adapt. They find the hole, and they make sure that FaZe can't come through it.
Do we see the timeout? I feel like at times FaZe haven't used those timeouts aggressively enough. This might be a moment for it.
Let's go. Let's fucking go, boys.
But apparently not. Really important round here. No AWP available for FaZe. Some nades missing. Roki even stuck on a Galil into this one.
Scary position to be in, with BNE in the lead. Scores in the teens for both teams.
It's another play where FaZe are committed heavy with numbers towards one side of the map, right out of spawn. Twist is dealing with the mid play. He's just watching that mid push in the flanks, but here comes the quick call for FaZe, running right in. Maybe the change in pace works out. Random Rops with the first kills for FaZe. Rigon has done enough initially on the hold, and a little bit of a gap that Carrigan is ready for. Once again, keeping it somewhat close. GXX overrun. Carrigan jumps over the crosshair, and Carrigan, he's the star right now. He is finding so much impact for FaZe.
He'll drag them kicking and screaming through Mirage, and maybe through the Major. The leader stepping up, pushing through, and stopping Bad News Eagles when they started to get on that roll.
I feel like you see BNE just a little hesitant with how they're going to set up on that A site. Rigon's sort of fumbling with nades, not really able to get into a position in time. Sigh of relief for Carrigan. He knows how important that round was.
Every round at this point is massively important for FaZe. 3 players in mid. At the start of this one, Brokey's just holding for aggression, anticipating it coming his way. Hasn't come up in the first few seconds, so now FaZe take that opportunity to move into middle. Sending Rain down close towards the connector smoke.
Flames come on over. One Flatro forced on back. You can see he wants to go for this fight. Has Rig on over towards Ladder, who can help support. Peering on through as that smoke's about to fade. One Flatro might get the opportunity onto Rain. Another set of Flames comes on through, and he's given the opportunity. An opener for B&E. Twist immediately trades.
Important trade from Twist. He had to get that one to come through. Now just over 1 minute left. FaZe want to make this B play. This is their final call to move into B. Twist is coming up through short. He's a little bit further away from the rest of the pack, and he has to get through Rigon. Rigon's smart enough to deal with that, molly it down, and this attack is starting to fizzle out. FaZe cannot split together. They cannot get up short in time. So the B Apartments play needs to come in, and Robs makes the difference. Jumps out the window, instant kill on GXX, and now Rigon and Synopsy coming back through. Prokeem reads the play, reads the rotation path, and Rigon has slipped short. He's so close, and Robs swings. Good team play from FaZe. They head into the lead again.
Great double swing at the end there. It looked uncomfortable for FaZe for a second, but the fact that Rops drops down and wins that fight is the real difference maker. You think an AWP on that B site is normally a pillar, but Rops able to drop down just in time. That's the kill that makes the difference. They still got flustered a little. You saw Rops almost planting for short when his teammate was with him on the site, but they figure it out in the 2v2. And you talked earlier about how FaZe in the past have been so good in those most important moments, in those clutch rounds. That's a perfect example of it.
Last timeout used for B&E. This is the last time to have Devil Walk on the mic. The last time they can reset, and this game is getting close, Lucy.
Unbelievably so. That one came down to the wire. GXX hits that shot. It's a completely different game.
I mean, it's been close the whole time, obviously, but what I mean is when we get deeper into the regulation here, if we go into the overtimes, you won't have the timeouts. You won't be able to take that pause, that breather, so they're on their own for now on.
I mean, this is 14 for FaZe. Look at what B&E are working with. An MP9, a single sole M4. Synopsy has to go big. They have to upset here.
It's funny because it feels like FaZe are having to fight so hard, and then you remember we might have another map.
That's the thing, right? It feels like the decider map, but it's only map 2. And Rain will shred through 2 in the underpass.
That's the start they needed. Synopsy's still here, boosted on up. It's a bit of an unorthodox position, but surely with Rops clearing out through here, should be able to disrupt it if the hit comes on through. It's so exposed to so many angles.
In these kind of rounds, you got to go for a little gimmick. We've seen B&E be able to use some of those boosts in the rounds where they've had the weaker weapons and nearly make it competitive. Just over a minute left. FaZe will start to drift back towards A. And this is the site that B&E would want them to come towards. But Synopsy on triple, you're right. I don't know how much he's able to get done here.
Hasn't budged, and doesn't get to shoot at all.
That's robotic.
What a shot. Thatcher's now picked up the M4 though, and he's repositioned, finds the kill onto Rob. The trade is immediate. GXX just has the pistol in mid, so his attempt to do anything here, very minimal. Gonna come on through and can't even find Rain.
Yeah, Rain having a couple of nice impact rounds now. Take note of the pathing there. He goes up top because he knows that's going to give him a really good chance to trade Rops. Whereas if he runs on the floor, it can be hard to fully get into position in time. What's the approach for B&E here? We haven't seen the crazy CT aggression in all of these rounds. Reaction not looking great there from Rigon. But he knows he's got the chance now in the gun round.
Yeah, this is the chance, right? If they lose this, the money is starting to look really dire. FaZe will have the huge advantage. They'll be on map point. Very likely they close it.
This mid control's big. GXX has scoped in on mid, so he's got that position entirely under lock and key. And Bad News Eagles are going to use that. They're going to use this to push mid themselves with this massive stack.
I like it. I mean, they left A open, but Rops is so passive on the lurk there that FaZe aren't getting anything from this. They're putting pressure over towards B, now repositioning, and they might walk right into the setup.
There is the underpass push from FaZe, though, so it's a push from two sides you've got to hold on to. The smoke into window makes it more difficult for the CT.
GXX is forced off his angle, but there's so many players here to back him up. Twister having to brawl inside in mid, and he will. Synopsy no longer with this one. Flatro gets revenge, and it tastes sweet, so he gets 2. He goes back for seconds, and 55 seconds, 4 versus 2. B&E in a really solid position here, Lucy.
Conceded so much space, and look what it's cost them at Rops. What a shot onto Rigon. Suddenly looking a little bit more achievable. 2 versus 3. One Flatro low, and time to work with.
Robs nearly snaps back to connector there. That is ridiculous, but 35 seconds. The one kill sure brings them closer. There's one A-site player right now in the form of Juan Flatro is pushing through Palace.
Such a good position to be in. You just sit here, you wait for the bomb plant, and surely you get a kill from it. It's so hard to clear out Palace.
He's the only one on this side of the map, though. Look at the B side. They've gone to reinforce it. They're relying so much on the shoulders of Juan Flatro.
Oh, this position is just so strong from the Palace. He will come through, and Robs has no idea how to deal with it. And the bomb plant denied. GXX from a short sends the bullet through, and BNE with 13.
Man, it's not easy to make that decision for Juan Flatro either. He's low on health. If there's a player waiting for him in Palace, if he gets caught repositioning, he could just lose the round himself. But he knows he has to get into an unexpected position because he's low on health. He plays for the one kill. He plays for the survival. A really smart play at a really important time. And FaZe do now take their third timeout.
And I feel like the default there from FaZe was a little bit off, right? They put a lot of pressure over towards B. They had Rob sitting very passive in towards Palace. No signs of life in mid, and GXX knows it's completely clear because he's been sitting on Cat the entire time, and it allows them to set up such a rigid defense in mid that completely dismantles FaZe.
A double in connector, so important. His teammates were also stacked towards B when he got that double in connector. He was such a pillar of the hold there, Juan Flatro. And he was maybe a little quiet on that first map, but he's stepping up here, joint top of the server right now.
Tech 9 for Rain. Carrigan has no utility. This round could change everything.
Well, they're going towards A again with numbers. 3 in Palace this time, 1 down towards ramp, and Rain tasked with holding mid with that Tech 9. He can't be involved in the main pack of the attack, and Carrigan was the first. Let off the leash, GXX just nails him right away. The shot is too easy for him, and Robs goes out next. 1 by 1, they're falling to the Bad News Eagles, and they've thrown all the cash into this. FaZe pushing, but they're not getting the kills. Finally, Brokey's found the gap with the bomb. He has to go back and get it, and in the meantime, he's lost all of his teammates, and Brokey is in a 1v4. The first locked in on Rigon, but they've slipped through the smoke. Brokey locks in the plant. That's some extra cash at least, but he needs a lot more in this round, and Scenari is not going to give it to him. That is a tough round to swallow for FaZe. Luckily, Brokey makes something of it. He gets a bomb plant. That'll be a really important cash in the next round. But FaZe now have to suffer the scoreline being tied up.
Yeah, the money is big, but that round looked so uncomfortable for FaZe.
It's not even good enough. It's not good enough. That's the thing. They're going to have to concede map point here, series point, and they'll be going down to the 2-2 matchup if you lose this map.
Yeah, and you saw the jungle smoke. It was terrible. There was such a massive gap in it. They didn't even have a flash for GXX's position initially. It just felt like FaZe pushed a little too ahead of the utility there. You saw the awkward fight Robs is taking. And this is now a scary, scary prospect. Pistols at 14-14.
Conceding
and a B-rush.
B-rush, and they're a little bit late to spawn here. They're pretty late to the site on the Bad News Eagles side, but FaZe are just canceling. They slow it down a bit. They sent Rain way ahead of the rest of the pack, and they're just going to smoke it. They just want to go. Changing pace coming in, Rain at the front.
Getting in fast, Rain tries to overwhelm, but Scenari strikes, and everybody arrives to the party. The B-rush completely dismantled before it can even get going, and that's 15 for Bad News Eagles.
Series point up against FaZe. This will send them down to the 2-2 bracket. That's against Mouse. This is unbelievable from Bad News Eagles.
Major qualification point for Bad News Eagles, and you saw the instant reaction from them. They said, hold, that was the low buy. We need to make sure we're focused again instantly because this is the buy for FaZe, the last standby for them.
1 round away from the major. Bad News Eagles. And they have lost the first player. Brokey boosted up. Synopsy caught on the cross on over. BNE, they've got to do it the hard way if they want to do it in regulation. A player down.
You find the kill on A and immediately group up to B. Everybody from FaZe coming over here. Not a single lurk component yet. Robs does start to come through mid. Scenari's the only one here defending.
FaZe couldn't ask for anything more here. Clean 5v4 and now this B play.
Scenari's been an absolute beast in this game. He has been so good. And now the attack is bomb site. Will he defend it with his life? Flash goes up. A brilliant kill onto Carrigan, but it is just one. On Flatro's turn, the next in the wave. GXX connect another brilliant shot when Flatro runs in. Robson Rain with kills, and it's now on Riggin. The flank around the back of the apartments. The 1 versus 2 for the major spot. He's got it into a 1v1. It's just Robson short, and Rigon sees him. He knows where his next victim is. The one player stopping him from confirming the spot in Paris. A major is there. The Paris major for Bad News Eagles locked in. This team have done it again.
When they fly, they soar. Bad News Eagles are going to Paris. Can you believe it? Twice now, FaZe have fallen in the most dramatic of fashions. Bad News Eagles, an incredible performance. Take it 2-0.
They played their hearts out, and the team celebrations at the end. These guys all get along together so well. You can see it in the way they play. You can see it in the way they feel after the game. And for FaZe, well, I don't want to say it's, you know, deja vu, but it's getting to that point.
Incredible performance for Bad News Eagles, locking in a major that means so much to them. And for FaZe now, they know the road ahead is so difficult.
So difficult, as you mentioned, potentially Mouse, right? As the team you have to go against. Mouse, who eliminated VP, the reigning champions, just earlier today. FaZe's Warriors do not get any easier here. The Bad News Eagles, they get to the sigh of victory. Fantastic stuff here from BNE.
Yeah, what a performance from them, especially when it becomes so close and so intense. That's the most impressive thing about this team to me. They always seem to be able to continue to step up. And I think you can see how exhausting this series was for FaZe, even though it's only 2 maps. Playing against BNE just takes so much out of you.
Yeah, and you got to remember the position that FaZe were in there, right? It was 14-10 that they were up. They were able to find a way back into that one. Fighting tooth and nail. Bad News Eagles felt like they really got back into their game towards the end. The sort of aggressive setups they were going for in towards mid, and it comes down to a 1 versus 2, a brutal way to go.
Yeah, and FaZe obviously disappointed at the loss, but I also feel like you see them on the cams and you just think there's a part of them that is also scared of what lies ahead when you have to go into those 2-2 games. For BNE though, celebrations all round. We've said before, they're a team who don't really have the biggest backing, and they just come together and they put their all into these sorts of tournaments, and it shines through for them, it seems, every time.
Yeah, we talk about a team that has no org backing. They have to do it all on their own. Put together this fantastic team, these pieces like Devilwalk and Crystal coming into the mix to elevate their gameplay. And honestly, I think we saw it here. The celebrate, look how happy they are. It just brings a smile to your face seeing them succeed here. Well, they've made themselves a path through to Paris, going to the major. It must mean the world.
Yeah, you can see why these guys have become such fan favorites since they've made their name on the international scene. It's just so fun to watch them play.
Yeah, now we have Devilwalk on the sidelines for the winners interview.
I just had to sprint off the cast, Devilwalk. Just to be the first to congratulate you guys. Congratulations on making the major. I know it's the cliche question, but you have to. How does it feel?
It feels really fucking good. There's so many things and emotions going through our heads right now. You know, FaZe is an incredible team, and for us to beat them 2-0 is really, really, really nice.
There's very few people in the Counter-Strike world that have as much passion for the game as you. You won the first major, and now you're going to the last CSGO major. That must feel pretty special.
Yes. Yes. I don't know what to say. It feels really, really good. All the hard work has paid off, and yeah, I'm super proud of the boys.
And obviously you guys making a major, it's the only one this year. We know how much Bad News Eagles struggle in terms of finances, and you guys do this on a passion project. You don't get salaried for this. How much does a major help for you guys? Like, the struggle must just be insane.
I mean, it means everything. It means everything to us, and obviously them doing it 3 times in a row is incredible. No organization. Obviously we have some sponsors that support us, so big thanks to them. But yeah, I just love the guys. They've been incredible from day one.
Well, absolutely. Congratulations yet again, Devilwalk. See you at the Paris major, man.
It's a beautiful hearing from Devilwalk. You can see how much it meant to him. It almost brings a tear to my eye hearing him. And yeah, an interesting point on that interview, right? First major, winning it, coming back for the very final.